Joining me as my first guest on In Conversation With is the lovely Ches Smith. How are you?
I didn't realise I was the first one.
You're the first one.
No pressure.
No, there's no pressure whatsoever. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Apart from obviously everything that's going on, I am sieving my way through the mud and making something happen out of it.
I know. Do you know what? The year's been really tough, and especially more for musicians as well. How have you found it?
um, I found it mentally challenging
Yeah.
because I am quite ambitious, hyperactive. Nothing can stop me individual, and obviously when that hit like I had a momentum going on in my head and fireworks, and I was at a point where actually it was good for me to stop in the first lockdown because of I had like obviously like it's really good when things go well, but
Yeah.
you don't I'm the sort of person that takes it fully on board and puts myself 1000% into something,
Yeah.
and it was really busy before the first lockdown.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like I had to go, "Huh? what I
Yeah.
can't do these things. I
Yeah.
had so many plans." So yeah, it was mentally really challenging for me, but I've learned how to do other things other than sing.
Um, yeah. Well, obviously, have you used the time productively in terms of creating stuff? Have you done any more writing? Have you done anything in the studio?
So me and Dan in the first lockdown, we've done quite a lot of cover things and live sessions, but like we did notice that like it's people weren't as interested anymore, like as it went on, like it was like
Yeah.
everyone was just getting tired of not having normality. So like we just thought like let's focus on writing instead. So me and Dan did, obviously we planned to write an album before all of this anyway.
Yeah.
So me and Dan started writing some demos, but it just was not the same with Holly and Tor not
Mm,
there.
yeah.
It was more I don't know, like it didn't feel the same. Although the two bits that we wrote in lockdown, it literally was like I think two verses to two different songs. It was not a full song, but basically when we could rehearse again, we took those two ideas into the rehearsal, and boom, like two of probably the strongest songs on the album. So that was used productively.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but we live next to the recording studio,
Uh-huh.
and we bungalow next to the recording studio, and basically it's been really run down for 30 plus years. There was a lady that used to live here. She's not with us anymore, unfortunately, sadly, but she used to have like all of it looking like it was an orchard, I think.
Oh, wow.
And it was really stunning. And basically, for like 30 years, it's been owned by our landlord, who's not really involved much in it. It's sort of like
Yeah.
studio had Dan running it, and there was a guy living here just minding his own business. And so the land in front of the bungalow next to the car park of the studio literally looked awful, and like before it just looked like what the wild woods of the west. It was just awful, and it was like everyone had dumped everything, and anything that had been built here been dumped. So
Yeah.
every time I drove home before that, I used to look at that and I used to think,
Mm.
oh God,
What the hell?
that's not good first impressions of where someone lives. And I was like,
Mm.
and the studio, I was like, that's someone's first impression of the studio.
Yeah.
So when we went into the first lockdown, when I finally realised, it clicked that I couldn't go to work, musically I couldn't really do much, and also like I need to knacker my brain out because I'm not very good at relaxing. So I took it upon myself to literally be a digger. I needed machines, but I basically just took it on. And then I cleared all this land, and then I was like, oh no, now I've got like bare muddy land. So
Yeah.
what do I do with it? So someone mentioned a veg patch.
Mm.
Doing a veg patch, and I was like, I haven't got time for that. Like, I work and then I do the band full time. It's like having 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
I haven't got time to keep up with veg patch. And then I think I found a bathtub at the back of this area, and someone just joked about, one of my neighbours just joked and said, "What? Oh, you could put vegetables in that." And that was it. I ordered spray paints, and I started doing all this arty things, and then I put it up on Facebook, and then another bathtub just appeared on the car park.
I remember you asking for them.
Yeah. And then in the end, I think I've got about 7 now. I've got one out there waiting to be painted, but I was going to wait for the summer.
Yeah.
But I've created a whole veg patch.
I love that. I love that. New skills.
I'm not an artist either. I'm not an artist in that way. I just can't not be doing something. It drives me insane.
I totally get that, and I found lockdown the same. So the new album, you've got an album ready. When are you going in to record?
We are recording at Rockwell Studios. We are leaving Sunday, and it's in Wales. It's like a legendary. I just want to get the album done, but obviously there's lots of facts about Rockfield that maybe Dan's best to talk about. Obviously Dan's background is recording, producing, all of that. Like, he's obsessed with Rockfield. It's like one of his favourite studios. So
amazing.
It's like, I don't want to get anything wrong, but like Oasis obviously recorded there. Bohemian Rhapsody was recorded there, I think.
Wow.
Stone Roses were recorded there, and it seems to be a place where bands go, and Royal Blood as well. Royal Blood.
Oh, wow.
They recorded there. I think it was their first album there, but everyone that sort of goes there, they say like there's a magic about it, where the songs just start.
The vibe. It's just the vibe.
It's the whole vibe. And it's just brought a lot of success to people. Like, people have been really successful after recording there. So we're just sort of hoping we get that magic.
Get that magic. So let's talk about you as an artist. When did Chess Smith start writing or get into music?
I'm a bit of an oddball, really. Like, I don't. Actually, if I say anything wrong, my family aren't musical.
Okay.
But I have got one sister. I'm one of 5 children. I have got one sister that's older than me that was into dance, and she went to band camp, and gymnastics and all that. And I think I don't know where it started, but so my mum would be into like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and there'd be Marilyn Manson going on in the background really loud at times. And then my dad would be listening to ABBA, the Hollies, all sort of poppy stuff. So I'd have that stuff to me as well. And then that sort of developed the whole mixture of genres. And I love the ABBA voices. I love Agnetha. But I also loved Heart.
Amazing band.
So, and then Led Zeppelin, his voice is similar to the Heart singers that I sort of feel. So I just wanted to sound like a mixture of all of that. But I think my sister, I don't know if she spotted it, I don't know, but like no one else pushed me in that direction, like singing. I used to, well, this sounds really sad, but I did get really bullied in school. I was very overweight, and I had white hair, and like I had friends sometimes that didn't want me to tell anyone else that I was friends with them out of school, and things like that. So I did sort of lock myself in my bedroom quite a lot and listen to music. And my sister, the eldest one, had a massive CD collection, and that's where I found Alanis Morissette.
Amazing.
And although my own choices were like Christina Aguilera and Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, they're just sort of the go-to ones, that they made me want to learn how to sing like a head voice singer, whereas
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette made me want to write.
Mm.
I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to be a singer that goes and sings other people's songs. I really
Yeah.
wanted to write my own things. And I think I have to give credit to my sister, because she always has a go at me if I say that no one helped me. But she probably her music collection probably did help me. But from that moment, I've done lots of things. I went to college and studied music. I didn't learn
Yeah.
anything. I didn't learn anything. I literally just made some friends with some guys. I was like the only girl in the course, and
Yeah.
you can imagine the stick I got.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I've done nothing easy up to this point. And then my dad was really, really disappointed that I chose to study music in college, because he's a realist, and he's brought up on a farm. Like, you go to work, you go home, you get married, you learn to drive, you get a job, you have kids. Whereas like I was just like this annoying thing that was like, no, I need more. I need more.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to do that? So I studied beauty therapy after that, to make him happy.
Yeah.
I didn't do it for myself. And even like at the end of that course, they said, I don't even know why you've taken this course on. It's obvious where your heart is. Like, you need to go and explore and be a singer.
Yeah.
And that's where I met, around the time I met Ben Copeland, for Mooley.
Yeah.
I've missed out a whole chunk. The first band I was in was a rock band as well.
Yeah.
Hibiscus.
Yeah.
That was I love Salvation Jayne, but like that was like my baby.
Yeah.
Hibiscus. Really rocky. It was like the first heartbreak.
Yeah, I you know what, I think everyone's, when they've been in the different bands, I think their first one is the one that they do really feel that was how it, their favorite, not in a bad way, it's just because it's the first time you've experienced it, I think.
We all started not very good either. I don't want to offend anyone.
So you grew into
we all
it.
started like, we didn't know much about writing together. We didn't know about songwriting. Some of us had never done songwriting before, but whatever, like when we rehearsed, like this magic just appeared, and we all, like, as we like went on, we become really good musicians, and the musicianship between us was just electric. But
Yeah.
it, as like all bands, like there's all financial pressure, there's politics, there's egos, there's all of this, and like it's survival of the fittest. And unfortunately, like, it just didn't. I was the only one that, actually, I think two of us drove, but then the other one that drove left. So it's like me driving everyone as well as working a full-time job. And I cracked in the end, and said, I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's hard. And you're right, I think being in a band is difficult because you've got so many different personalities, so many different ideas, and like you say, the logistics of it all, it's tough. It's a tough life.
Yeah, and after that, there was a lot of bands that were like contacted me and said like about joining, but I was so heartbroken. I did try a band called 5 Floors Up, and like I loved writing again to like rock music, but like it never felt the same. And I think that I upset all of them when I left. But I've just been trying to find something, and like obviously when people feel like they can't give that to me, they feel like I don't know, a bit offended in a way. But I needed that spark if I wanted to put myself 100% in something. and which is what with Salvation Jayne, I found like that is the thing for me. It's going to be the last band I'm in because I can't deal with any more.
No more heartbreak. No more band heartbreak.
No more heartbreak. Mooley was just it made me. I grew up with Mooley. Like it was the bands that I learned a lot about the industry. I learned about what I really wanted out of music. I learned a lot about myself, really, like through Mooley, and I couldn't cope with the fact that I didn't have like half of the creativity sort of input. But then Ben was so amazing at it, and he created Mooley before I joined, and he was the sound of Mooley, and I just felt like I was just this session vocalist. And although I loved it, I just thought, do you know what, I need to be doing rock, and I need to be doing something that I write a lot in.
Which is what you do with Salvation Jayne.
When I started Salvation Jayne, we did a crowdfunder and basically completely rebranded the band. Everything. They started from scratch with me, and that's probably what I needed with the other bands. I don't know. I sound really high maintenance, don't I? Like I'm hard to please.
No, do you know what? It's about finding the right fit, isn't it? The right fit for you. And sometimes you have to go through the trials and tribulations of different bands or different people to get where you fit, and you fit now. And that's when the magic happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your most favourite venue that you played at. I know you played at the Club 100 in Oxford Street, which is an iconic venue. But
I've played there twice now, actually. But it's a great venue, don't get me wrong, but it's a weird sound. My favourite, I think my favourite gig,
I'll put you on the spot.
And it's not like obviously like the Folkestone Quarterhouse.
Awesome venue.
The energy and the amount of support and everything that's a standout gig for me. But like regarding to like I was so stressed at that gig, it took a bit of fun away from it. Like I said before lockdown, like that whole from the Folkestone Quarterhouse gig to the London Old Blue Last gig, we sold out those two headlining venues, and no one sees what goes behind the scenes, but like I strive for like it to be perfect, and well, I won't say nothing's perfect, but I really pushed, and I pushed the band. They probably hated me. I was like, I'm not one that relaxes. I'm like, no, every day we've got to do something to leave no stone unturned. Everything has to be unturned with me. And
you're a perfectionist.
I'm a perfectionist, but the moment before I went on stage, I just didn't feel relaxed, and I felt like that gig I put on the Chess Smith artists, like just had to completely just throw all this stress just behind the curtain, and then just go out there and do it. And then afterwards it was amazing. But I'm not taking anything away because it was amazing, but my favorite gig was this gig, and I'm going on like no stress, sounds amazing, the atmosphere, like almost like I'm alone in the room, but there's an audience watching sort of thing. It was a Mooley gig, and it was me and the 5 Floors Up guitarist. He played acoustic guitar for me. I hope I've got that guitarist right. I think it was Andy Ridgway. But we played. I think we were supporting Gino Washington or something like that. It was a random gig, and it was the Half Moon Putney.
Great venue.
If you've heard of that.
And it was just
it was just, and it was like the back bit, and it was like when the music, when we started as the warm up, it's like the whole room went silent, and it was like I could do that every night, whatever.
Really?
That whole set, it was magical. But obviously I know that it will get to that point it was getting to that point with Salvation Jayne, where like when we supported the Subways,
Yeah.
I can't remember that it was in a place where they're from, but I had in-ears for that gig, and I started to enjoy it a little bit more. I had in-ears for I was still trying to get used to them at Folks and House.
Yeah.
But it made me feel a bit more in touch with everyone, and I can hear myself. I hate doing a gig where I can't hear myself.
Nothing
and then
worse.
You get home and someone's like, I've got a video of Salvation Jayne live, and I'm listening, I'm going, wow, that's pitchy. When you've got Holly like loud guitars and Dan trying to like compete with that with his bass, and they're constantly trying to get a beefier sound out of it, and I'm literally like, Mentor behind me, I'm literally like I am up against like hell here, like how my tiny little voice, how can I do this? So the in-ears have definitely helped. We've got someone live, I've gone blank now. We got someone basically doing our live sound, so they know our sound, so it's getting better. But that live Putney thing, because it was acoustic, it was just a lot easier.
Yeah, nice. So do you have plans, obviously with the pandemic as it is, live music will hopefully be back this year? What's the plans in terms of releasing the album and touring and stuff? Have you got anything in the pipeline, or any ideas about what you're going to do?
We've got lots of plans, but like at the moment it's all like it's stressing me out, because it's all like dotted. It's not like, if you imagine loads of bits of paper everywhere. There's about 100 bits of paper, and we've got to piece them all together. But the album we're hoping to release in like September time. September, October. There's a tour planned around it. There's like maybe a gig, a festival in like July, but there's plans like we all decided and agreed on not doing a socially distanced gig indoors. As much as like supporting venues and that, I just don't feel like anyone's getting anything out of it. And I don't really like it. We're in a pandemic, like just leave it. Leave it. Leave it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I hope everything works out for you at recording. Enjoy it.
I will. I am going to. Everyone keeps telling me, enjoy it.
You will enjoy it. Take a breath, take a moment, remember where you are, enjoy the moment, enjoy the process, and the magic will happen.
Yes.
And keep me informed as to when things happen. I'd love to speak to you, maybe with you in the band later on in the year when we get closer to the album launch. That'd be awesome. Stay safe. And stay sane.
We are trying.
Stay sane.
Definitely stay sane.
Definitely. Lovely to speak to you, Chess. Take care.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.